Last fall, my partner and I purchased a 60-acre property with an 1830s farmhouse. The home, with 5 bedrooms and 3 baths, was in largely decrepit condition. The plan was to rehabilitate the home as a rental, generating enough income to pay for the remodel and produce some cash to help with our midterm vision to build a new home. So we hired a contractor and they dug in. New kitchen, new bathrooms, new windows, new walls, new floors, new roof, new electric and plumbing, darn near new everything. It seemed and continues to seem that every time an aspect of the project was started, we discovered underlying challenges. Bad plumbing, rotten sills, crooked walls, you name it. We've had to deal with it. But as the project now comes to a close, we're very proud of the beautiful home that we've created for a prospective tenant. One thing we've discussed, had we known what we were really getting into, we might have chosen a bulldozer instead of a contractor. Speaking of bulldozers, I bought one a few weeks ago. With the prospects of clearing land for our new home, a long driveway, trails through the woods, and various other earth-moving projects, it seemed the right thing to do. For less than the cost of a contractor, I can own the machine. Further, I love working on the property. It's my escape, both physically and mentally stimulating. My 1970s dozer, which I've nicknamed Bull, recently got its first workout. There's an old barn foundation on the property, buried behind a large mound of soil. The only way to realistically get rid of it is to bury it. Mind you, I've never operated a bulldozer, so my first attempt antics weren't pretty. I rammed and jammed as I learned how to operate the steering blade and throttle. Back and forth I went as I took away chunk after chunk of 100-year-old packed dirt to expose the poured concrete wall it has to go. After a couple of hours, I got reasonably comfortable and managed to get about halfway to my target. As I reflected this morning on the work and the status of our house remodel, it dawned on me that our experiences have been very similar to the hundreds of projects that we tackle in our lifetimes, whether personal or business. 2 distinct lessons were driven home to me. First, for most people, it's impossible, yes, impossible, to accurately understand the magnitude of large projects. I've heard this over and over again from clients who finished building projects, opened a new office, or completed the sale of their practice. They reflect on how difficult and detailed such projects are and how they had to pivot many times along the way. As Eisenhower once said, planning is crucial, plans are worthless. As you get into any large project, things arise that couldn't have been realistically contemplated in advance. While in the planning process one should go through an exercise called an implications assessment, you typically won't have either the time or the resources to plan out every little detail of a project. We have to jump in with a clear vision and work to complete the project, all while weaving and parrying through the many obstacles that come along. Many an entrepreneur, myself included, have reflected back on breakthrough successes with the comment, "I was too naive to know that it couldn't be done." The second lesson is that any project, one must take things one chunk at a time. My bulldozing experience is a great example. The machine can't move the mound of dirt in one pass. I have to go back and forth, taking small chunks away with each pass. So as it relates to big projects and big visions, take a giant leap. Roll up your sleeves and go for it. As I expressed in a recent message, the world is full of possibilities if your eyes are open to them. And as for big projects, you can only eat that elephant one bite at a time.